So there's code on screen. Pause if you want to look at it at any length. I, in fact, should zoom in a little bit. But just to kind of show what's going on here, yeah, there's it's a backstory time if the thumbnail didn't let you know. Set up a variable, then just do an if check. There's a better way to do this, but I just wanted to do things quickly. So literally, there are 4 options. Hey, your max stamina is going to increase, your max reason is going to increase, or your max stamina is going to decrease, or your max reason is going to decrease. And I usually set variables back to 0. So, I mean, as we take the code off screen, if you see code that usually sets variables to like 0 or their default state at the end, that's kind of a trait of my code I noticed. As we get ZHECTAST, that's going to be a run, and we will move on. Actually, I'm going to hit that again just to see what character I did. Because I forgot what character was showing up. Because we're going to be playing as base characters, but we're going to be playing with PERM mechanics. So, yeah, not really much else to say until we get it till after the timestamp. Aside from the fact that, yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to make sure that I can get my old god that I'm working on doing things. But hey, yeah, this is just the Koji graphic with, I think this is the background of an encounter, but then I modified, the picture of a moon, which is not the, it's not the crispest moon. But as we get into ZHECTAST Nightly Aura, which is my own custom status, backstory, random item stats, Moriko. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, the effect here is that max stamina and max reason can increase or decrease every 2 investigations, and that's the simple effect. Now, it sounds simple, but it can make a big difference, especially if your RNG is good or bad. But as we get second mystery, knowledge, dexterity, light, Takushi-san, and maybe a charisma check. That's me clicking on my mouse in the background, by the way. Yeah, let's see what this old shotgun randomizes before I give you more of what I was trying to do with this backstory. So this old shotgun's okay, it's going to be serviceable. We fill this empty bottle up, and yeah, for the backstory, I wanted to do something a bit more with what I had, but I don't remember. I think I do B, yeah, I use attire B usually with Moriko. Wanted to make something that happens every few investigations, but I didn't want to just be a number flip here and there, which is currently what it is, as we get Household Hell, Painting, YEWU, and Goal, and Scissors. Alright, fine, we'll do Scissors first then. But again, start small, go further. If you're wondering where the old god is, as we get timeline B scissors, clap bow, I'm working on it. So we're slowly making steps forward, and then at a certain moment, probably in about 2 or 3 episodes, we'll play this backstory and the old god together. This is your daily, this is your occasional, well, might as well be daily, but occasional reminder that these are all PERM things, this background and the old god I'm working on. So if you don't play with PERM or you don't know what PERM is, you don't need to worry about it. But otherwise, just going into, I mean, still, I think it's good to go over what PERM can and cannot do, especially if you plan to use it. It's available on Nexus Mods. I was not sponsored by anyone or anything. I'm not related to anyone who working on it on PERM. Shrug. But that, I mean, I'm not, I didn't make PERM. Now, whether or not you believe me or not, I mean, you can feel free to believe me or not, but I just to let you know, even though I do have a background in programming here and there, 1, I'm not the best programmer, and 2, I have no relation to the development of PERM or World of Horror, for that matter. So I'm literally just some dude playing with World of Horror and PERM. For those who don't know, one last thing is that, yes, PERM basically is added onto World of Horror to give you things like custom items, custom status effects, so on and so forth. But as you move on here, well, I think it's clap 4 bows, and then we just move on. Again, for the backstory for now, so you're seeing these little messages. They kind of clutter up the screen because every 2 or 3 every 2 investigations at the moment, you get a message here. I don't need to do that, but I just want to also make sure that the thing is working correctly. Something to note is that it's easy as we get clap, bow, bow, clap, clap as our ghost ritual. It's easy to kind of look over investigations in, say, non-town locations. The reason I am making a distinction here is because there have been effects that kind of get bugged, and they do get fixed relatively quickly, really quickly, by the way, if we're comparing it to just video games in general. But yeah, there have been mistakes. So for those who don't know, especially, I don't know if it's a PERM or a World of Horror thing. I think it's more a World of Horror thing, and not because I'm not trying to dunk on Panstaz for developing the game the way it's developed, but I'm trying to say understand. So, for example, if you're in ward, you have hospital investigations, but the game does not treat those investigations normally, and that's the best way I can put it for those who don't have any background in World of Horror or how it works or coding in specifically. So, what I mean by that, I want to see if I can close. Is that those investigations are not treated the same as clicking investigation on a mystery like the one we're in right now. Another example would be Festival or Flood, in which you're on a separate map, and then you do investigations, but it's not the same. And so there have been some bugs and crashes with certain effects here and there, where basically the game literally becomes unplayable. It doesn't crash the game, but it certainly does become unplayable to a large degree. Thankfully, I think most of that has been resolved, but just something to keep in mind, especially if you're making custom content with World of War, and not just videos or streams, which is content, but you get the point. There have been things that have gone wrong. I'm just gonna throw a strong attack into the wind, and hope for the best, because we're taking -1 all damage at the moment. I can shoot this tree at a certain point, but yeah, we'll do it here. So, and the reason why that is something to note is that that's part of the reason why I took this background with small steps. There's no effect at the moment, but obviously as you go later in the run, and if it's not obvious, it's because I could just get like 7 max reason down, and suddenly when I heal right here, I will notice, I forgot to fill this bottle, I will notice that I can't heal any more reason, which normally isn't too much of a problem, but if I add events and whatnot here and there to the old god and then play it together with the background, yeah, really strange things can happen, gameplay-wise. But we did have a max level school, though we have 17% Doom in our third mystery. That's very, very good, by the way. But our HP just could get slam dunked. I didn't put so I should have actually looked here. I didn't actually put a graphic yet. Again, do small steps. I'm going to repeat it over and over because it's important. And if you're newer to the channel or haven't heard it before, it's good to kind of go over it. But yeah, don't worry. If you're an artist and you like to work on graphics first, be my guest. But if you're just getting into custom content in World of War, one, look into basically the what's it called? The guides for images, because you don't want a character's shoulder popping out of the UI here. But also, and also transparency things, but also make sure that the gameplay stuff works, because though images can crash the game, so will code that is not made correctly. Normally, that's not much of an issue. World of War does a good job in not immediately crashing your game most of the time, but frequently, the game will crash because you link to something that is not there, whether it's an ETO file for events, whether it's an image for graphics for an event or a character, so on and so forth. You kind of get what I'm getting at here. We don't have a lot of HP, by the way, but I think we can make do. I'm gonna gamble on this, by the way. 77%. Ugh. What a time to be alive. Well, I can throw out another attack, 67%. If I miss both of these, I'm going to be really sad. Though that being said, in the last episode, I missed 485% in a row. So all things considered, I don't know why I'm so surprised. But you know what? Par for the course. I think I do 16 damage, right? Yeah. Morito things. Although I should remember more information about World of Horror. But anywho, moving on. So, and yeah, at this point, again, there's not been much difference in the backstory. I haven't actually played this backstory with Eldritch Parasite. I assume Eldritch Parasite takes priority, and by that I mean, if you play on Eldritch Parasite and this backstory is active, your max stamina or max reason... Actually, you can't play on Eldritch Parasite because they're both backstories, so I'm just going absolutely crazy. Well, anywho... there will be some small little differences here and there in terms of this backstory. They're very, very unlikely to happen, though. So one example is, say your max stamina and max reason just keep increasing over and over and over again. You'll never get to Desperate Struggle, which can cause, funny enough, an overall HP loss in certain situations. However, if in terms of survivability, you will survive more often. It's a very, very minuscule nuance, but it's something that can happen, and I'll let you know if that situation comes up. But as we grab a light source here, I don't remember what my things were, so I don't remember if I have a second. I don't remember any of my lighthouse checks, by the way. I go over, at this point, you might be wondering, as we tangent off for a moment here, Jordan, why, Jordan, why do you go over the lighthouse sigils at the very beginning of the video if you're going to forget most of the time anyway? Well, first of all, it's also so that I can try and remember. We might as well run away here. We have the Doom, we have the power. But second of all, it's for anyone who is curious about the sigils, because that is a frequent question. Because, you know, as it turns out, more people are playing World of Horror as, you know, time goes on. So if someone comes across this video and sees the beginning of the video and it goes to the lighthouse, and sure, I might be saying a bunch of hoopla when I say, you know, knowledge check, second mystery check, second encounter check, but it makes sense when you get to the end here. So our max stamina is actually at 7 at the moment, so our backstory has finally decided to slap us in the face. I'm losing stamina as I heal, by the way, right now, just to let you know. So, yeah. I was trying to figure out if I did something correct, but you know what? We'll worry about it later. It's something that you don't have to worry about. It's something I have to worry about. So, without further ado, let's go on. Again, I can just run a bunch here. Why is my Doom so low? I did scissors into U. Y-E-W. We're losing more max stamina. My max stamina increased to decrease again, but we actually do need a healthy amount of stamina to survive here. So this does present... so my more frequent worry, for good reason, is that oftentimes I find myself losing enough max stamina or max reason to worry about the lighthouse. Normally that's not an issue. And if you are a veteran, for someone who would have to worry about that issue, you would have... planned out what you're going to do. Whether, in my case, I will probably need a recovery item. Oh my sweet goodness, my max stamina. But in my case, I don't often get that luxury because I'm just, the choice is ripped away from my fingertips. So as we continue to try and survive, I would have liked to keep 7 max stamina. Do these lighthouse checks count? I guess we're gonna find out. I've lost at least 2 stamina, by the way, from this backstory at this point. And again, I did kind of plan out how I wanted this backstory to go, because over the course of about 28, well, we'll say 30 investigations, your max stamina and max reason can fluctuate to a very bad or very good degree. But the interesting thing to note about that, I didn't look at the light checks. I should have actually saved my level ups here. That probably would have been my saving grace, but we'll just work with what we've got for now. Also, that's right, we're on ZHECTAST, so I actually can't go above 84% Doom. But yeah, basically the backstory is mainly a negative, but it can still be a positive in certain moments. Like at the very beginning of the run, I assume that maybe you get a lot of good stuff. By the way, we did die here. So, we're just going to library notes, and maybe we get a stamina recovery spell, in particular flesh regrowth, but if we don't, I guess that's the end of the video. But basically, this background does exist. It does affect your run. But is it going to affect your run most of the time? Well, hey, I guess we'll find out. We're losing more max stamina, by the way. And the lighthouse investigations do, in fact, proc this background. But, anywho, as we move on here... Man, I like not hitting these attacks, by the way. We're just going to handcuff. Oh, that's right, we don't have any bullets. So, yeah, I'm just going to gamble, by the way. I'm too lazy at the moment. And off we go. Lose another max stamina. Yeah, this is a very interesting background. I probably will add something else to this background, but for the moment, off we go. So, without further ado, you know what? I probably should just add like a recovery item or two. You know, that would probably be a good thing. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say here. If you enjoyed this video, if you wanted to say something, if you wanted any advice, or if you want to advise me or ask any questions, you know what to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I won't take up much more of your time. Bye!